I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And today concludes... we did a vote, and the show that Will has always wanted me to watch is Peep Show, and we watched all of Peep Show to varying degrees of success. I don't think I'll ever return to Peep Show. I may... No, I'm lying. I don't think I ever will. I was going to say I may watch the Christmas episode again over Christmas, but then I thought, no, I probably won't. But all the same, the other end of this bargain was Will fulfilling a 3-year promise of watching Mad Men after he famously lied in the first year of our friendship. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm near the end of the show. There's the bit about Nixon," and which was a very good lie, because Nixon does come back at the end of the season 1. But no, he was talking about the literal Roger Don Nixon joke in the first episode. Season 7 of Mad Men, we are all done. This is my fifth watch? Fifth or fourth complete watch. I had an ex and she was watching it, so I would dip in and out. So it's about five and a half. At the end of the day, it's my upteenth time. Still love it. I think now every January 1st I'm going to do this again. I think that's going to be the new thing. Every January 1st, I'll start Mad Men.
When did we start? We didn't start January 1st, did we?
I believe we did.
I believe it was January 12th, Tom.
Let me check my 1 second a day. But the long and short of it is, of course, that 92 episodes later, we are here, seven seasons later.
90, that's a long time.
So, yeah, a lot of hours. I can't seem to find it. But all the same, Will...
Hello.
We started watching it, or rather, I started watching it on the 26th of January. Anyway, the point is, you sort of had a not a big switch. It's been a very gradual switch, but on season 6, it really came to a head. Will, what is your relationship to Mad Men?
I think it's very good.
Will you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to rewatch Mad Men?
4 or 5.
Mm.
I think I will. It will likely be in the next decade. To christen a house.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can do one a night and come in from work and watch Mad Men.
And see the parallels between my own depressing life.
We're going to get to it, but the opening episode of this. I'll do the joke first. But the end of Time Zones, the first episode of Don sat miserable on a balcony, whilst You Keep Me Hanging On by the Vanilla Fudge version, and Peggy being happy and smiley all day, and then shutting her door, falling to her knees and crying, are my two moods, and have been for some time now. So basically, this is our final season, but in many ways, it's 2 seasons, because they split the final season. It was the beginning of the end, and then the end of an era. They were, I think it was 7-9 months or so between them. This was AMC's choice, because they had the same thing with Breaking Bad, and they had great success with that, splitting their final season into 2 blocks. And so we have 7A and 7B. And yeah, to me, they do feel like two whole seasons. So that's going to make this ranking of 10 a bit dicky. But all the same, it is what it is. Actually, before we get into any rankings, let's just talk about the ending.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because I don't, let's not hold off on it any longer. For me, when it comes to ending a show, it is really make or break. I've, for so many years now, people have recommended Game of Thrones to me. But now that I know that final season is dog shit and everybody hates it, there is no way.
Apparently, they might be redoing it.
Oh, God. But there is just no way that I will spend all that time to have a terrible ending. And then people say, no, but the first 5 seasons are excellent. Yeah, but I'm not going to stop, am I? And then it's just going to be ruined. Whereas all of this leading up to the fact that I think that Mad Men not only has a perfect ending, a perfect finale, it's joyous, it's beautiful, it's touching. It is indeed perfect. In my personal opinion, Will, do you join me in this celebration?
I think it's a great ending. I think just to touch on TV show endings in general, like where you get a lot of your sort of sitcom, American-y ones, I do often get irritated when your final episode is like, oh, remember that time when we did this? And it's just reusing footage from old, and then at the end they have a hug. Give me another story.
I think the Friends one is probably the best version of that. I think the Friends two-parter, because obviously because it's not just, to be crude, jerking each other off. Oh, do you remember? Oh my God. Do you remember 5 years ago? Oh, so much has changed. There's the hilarious Phoebe stuff on the plane, the left phalange. There is no left phalange. The plane has lots of phalange. That's just knockout, great comedy. As I think what you're trying to get at is that in so many comedy finales, they forget that they're a comedy.
Yeah.
and it becomes just lots of hugging. And obviously Friends does have the moment where they leave the apartment.
Friends.
They are friends. And I think for as much as we're talking about those in sort of a shot like a shitty manner, I think that's a lot easier to do. Since the end of, what is it, Cheers, where he turns the lights off, since Cheers, every comedy sitcom knows.
Close the door.
Yeah.
Look around the room. Turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Silent credits.
Soulful version of the theme tune. Any comedy sitcom can end fine, because all you need is to get them all in one room, them all to hug, and them all to say goodbye. Get the will they, won't they together, and then jobs are good and you're fine. Dramas are a lot more difficult. I think of Desperate Housewives. I was a Desperate Housewives child, in my house with my mother and my sister. And I always remember, but again, and now as an adult, watching back a couple of Desperate Housewives, great show, so great. Those first couple of seasons really are a great parody of those those soapy dramas, and then of course it fell victim over 10 seasons or whatever into just becoming one of those soap operas. So that was the experience there. But dramas are a lot more difficult. I'm a big Twin Peaks fan. I mean, Twin Peaks is a bad example because Twin Peaks is so singular. But because Mad Men just does end perfectly. We do have that lovely touching montage of all the little final moments with every character. Which I feel is desperately earned, but the final episode does mainly focus on Don and Peggy, and it doesn't lose focus on that. And obviously the quality, Milk and Honey route. Is it route or route? The Milk and Honey route is another hour. The final 2 episodes are about an hour, and so Milk and Honey route is we're going to finish off Pete, we're going to finish off Betty, But also we're going to have one of my favorite Don episodes of all time, really, with the Army Veterans Dinner.
Yeah.
But then person to person, okay, we'll do Roger, Don, and Joan really has hers in Lost Horizon, and then also in person.
Yeah.
Those final 3 episodes for me are just perfect and culminate together. Because I was a bit worried about the ending. Well, I didn't know what your reaction was going to be, but I think that's the power of the show. Because I was worried with my ex as well. I thought, oh, she's going to hate the ending, and then she loved it. And from the sounds of it, you really liked it as well. And I think that's just the power of the show. I think that it's this major ambiguous ending. Not everybody knows about Coca-Cola. Oh, sorry, go on.
I think that was genius to put the advert on at the end there. I love how they left it so ambiguous that you don't feel too sad about it ending. You're like, oh, okay, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like you can't even guess what's going to happen next in Don's life because it is so open. You can only imagine he went and I can just imagine Once Upon a Time in Hollywood put Don Draper as one of the hippies in the car.
I could see that. I think for me, I've always seen it as he finds this enlightenment and he goes back to New York. Obviously, so the show ends with a sort of light bulb moment. He's umming, ding, and he has a slight smile, and he's come up with this idea clearly. And then he goes back to McCann Erickson. So what we do know is that in real life, the Coke "I Want to Buy the World a Coke" ad was made by McCann Erickson in 1971.
And we could assume it was made by Don Draper.
We can. Well, in real life it wasn't, but now we can. Yeah. We have given that to Don. And Matthew Weiner, I think he said around season 4, there was I know how I want it to end, and he needed to get that in place. Because getting the rights to the Coca-Cola advert and getting the rights to Coca-Cola is a big deal. And so, that was a 5-year journey that culminated here. Throughout the episode, there are the little things of, there's the woman wearing the same outfit who works at the desk, who is now John Hamm's better half. That's happening. By the time of release, that may be over, but they COVIDed together. So we're John's happy, which is all that I care about, and presumably she is too, because he's John Hamm.
Because of John Hamm.
Because of John Hamm, rather. Because of John Hamm. It culminates in this lovely, touching episode, touching moment of boundless creativity. Yeah, and I think perhaps it would be unreasonable to presume that he never has a drink again, and he's never angry again, and he's never depressed again. However, there is a moment of enlightenment that perhaps will lead to the 70s for Don Draper being a less destructive time. I think for me, the journey of the show, I mean, this isn't just me. There are multiple articles on this. Opening shot of the show ever. It's a dark, dingy club, lots of smoke, and we're looking at Don from behind. He is closed off from us. He is wearing his suit. He's wearing all black. He is closed off from us. We don't know who Don Draper is. Final episode, sunny. He's outside. He's in the air. No smoke, obviously. All white. He's looking at us. Well, he's not looking at us. Obviously, he's eyes and he's meditating. He's smiling. He is open. And obviously over the course of telling his kids about where he grew up, telling everybody where he grew up in the Hershey's pitch, and the change in Dick Whitman, and who he tells and who he gives that information to and who praises that to, and now he is an open man. I mean, for me, it's the moment in the final episode where Pete goes, "You'll be a creative director by 1980" to Peggy, and she just goes, "That sounds like a long time away." And you go, "Yeah, okay, these people are going to be alive in 1980. Wow." Hopefully Don gets to 1980. And you know what? I'd watch it. I would literally watch another. If they are all as well written as this, I say this is a
Mad
perfect
Men in the
ending.
80s.
If they're all as perfectly written as this, why not give me another 7 seasons? But it's not just Don's show; it's Peggy's show. How did you feel about Peggy and Stan?
Yay! I was happy in the end.
It sort of creeps up on you, and I think and that's the point, isn't it? Is that sometimes love and that great friendship or whatever does creep up on you, and you realize, wait a minute, this isn't a friendship. I literally cannot live without you. I think I love you. And then there was some critical opinion around the time whether that sort of undermined the character of Peggy. And I don't think it does in any way. She is still working. The final image is an intentional reversal of the classic man working and the woman comes behind him and kisses him and, how are you, honey? You know, it's an intentional reversal of that, with Peggy being the one that's working and Stan coming behind her being a proud husband. Because for as much as Peggy's character is, of course, started as a secretary and ends most likely, as Pete says, as a copy chief or creative director in 1980, it's also about being alone and being rejected in so many words. And whether it's with Abe or the relationship with Pete at the start of the show, it is a matter of her wanting to find love. And so I've never seen it as an undermining of the character, because there are plenty of strong independent women who want to be loved as well. And the two are mutually exclusive. And then there's Roger and Marie Calvet. Were you happy for Roger? He is in...
It was a great final send-off. Was it? I love 2 lobsters and a bottle of champagne for my mother.
He just cannot resist, and he's delightful. And what do you think of the mustache?
It took me some getting used to, but it suits him. He's well equipped for the 70s, is Roger.
Yeah, Roger and Marie are going to have a marvelous time. Also, what's the relationship going to be there when, like, I don't know, Thanksgivings, Christmases, whatever, with Meghan? What do we do? What happens? Who knows? And we move on. Also, there is obviously Joan has made Holloway Harris, because you've got to have 2 names to make it sound like it's real, after Peggy has turned her down to stay at McCann Erickson. And for me, that's always been the biggest arc. People always talk about Peggy, but as I sort of said before, the Peggy arc sort of ends in season 4. She's in a great, great, great place in season 4, and she stays there. It's not that her character doesn't develop or anything, but the arc of her being a secretary and then ending as this working woman does sort of end in season 4. However, the Joan arc of this sex symbol, sex secretary, and secretary and mistress, and then by the end she's running her own company. For me, that's all. You know, all she wants is to not just be a sex symbol. And obviously season 1 she owns it, and we see moments of the vulnerability there, but she enjoys it. You know, she enjoys being wanted, being lusted over, through the darkest elements of that, the prostitution, the rape from her husband. She manages to work through that, still owns her sexuality with a lovely relationship with Richard, which I really enjoy in 7B. Bruce Greenwood, you cannot beat Bruce Greenwood. And some coke. She then comes to make her own company. And of course, then we've got Pete, lovely Pete, and Trudy going back together. Lovely again. I think that's another great season 1 journey, is Pete being this ultimate villain, and then by the end I'm rooting for Pete.
I adore Pete.
Love Pete. I love Pete ever from, like, it's season 4 with the possible leaking of the Dick Whitman information, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Pete having his back and that sort of stuff, and onward, and obviously Shut the Door and Have a Seat, the great moment where he's pretending to be sick, and Trudy kisses him, and he's like, "Get my accounts, get my Rolodex," and I always like Pete. I have to say.
I think say already, my favourite Pete moment from this series is when Roger's announcing the merger, the new ownership, and he's saying, oh, in terms of money, for every 1% share you have, and he goes, I have 10%.
Yeah.
It's like Joe's like, that's $1 million. It's like, oh,
Another great Jim Cutler. It's a lot of money. I always liked Jim Cutler. I think he's really great. Harry Hamlin.
Never liked him.
Never liked him. Never liked
him. Just a grumpy face.
He does have a grumpy face. He doesn't like Dom, so we don't like him in that sense. But I like him in other senses. He's the one that gets Joan to be stop being the secretary pool leader. Let's get into some rankings. So we're dealing now with 14 episodes. So 4 got cut. As we've said for multiple seasons now, these aren't cuts really. It's just a matter of preference. Will, what are your cuts?
I've cut New Business.
I also cut New Business, so we'll give a brief talking about that now. This is the Meghan divorce episode. This is my favorite Meghan episode, of course. Lovely. Great send off to Meghan. I think it's exactly where that was going, unfortunately. And I think Jessica Paré owns it. I think it's a great episode for her. Also in this episode, there's the horrible Harry seducing Weinstein. Me Too 69. That's just commonplace. That's just commonplace then element of it, fulfilling the perverted promise of Harry Crane at season 4 with the ooh la la. Sorry, season 5. Ooh la la. You just a dirty bastard. Never liked Harry Crane, but he is Will's favorite character. So no, I think this is a wonderful Meghan episode. As well as also the little love triangle with Stan and Peggy and the bisexual Mimi Rogers photographer.
Yes.
Just a nice little episode. Again, not a cut. None of these are cuts. And there we go. And also this is the Diane episode, the waitress that sort of becomes Don's infatuation in the early episodes of this season. And this is very much in the vibe of Sylvia. This is him. This is a woman rejecting him. This is 2 women in a row now. Obviously, season 7A, start of season 7B and later season 7A. He's having a pretty good time. Is Don? He's got his mojo back, shall we say? But this woman, in the darkness of this woman, infatuates him, but she turns him down, and that's that for old Donny. But yes, we bid farewell to Megan Draper, but she will appear further up this list. So yeah, we both cut New Business. I know that you won't have cut The Forecast, or did you?
Did I? I did cut The Forecast.
Well, I'm really surprised because it is.
It is. Oh, it's the one we've all been waiting for.
It's Glenn is finally old enough to make a pass at Betty, and boy, does he make a pass. I love that Betty doesn't recognize him.
But yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Aren't you going to introduce me?
But
and then,
I'm Glenn Bishop.
I'm 18. He gets it in straight away.
Yeah.
God, Glenn, what a man. Big Glenn energy. That needs to be a thing. Big Glenn Bishop energy. I wish he said again, I'm here to save you. I can now. But,
no one can.
No one can save Betty. No one can save Betty.
That was the joke I was making.
Yeah, poor Betty. Do we feel sorry for? Yes, of course we do. Of course we feel sorry for Betty. I was going to say, do we? But Matthew Weiner has also talked about this. I think it was season 1, because obviously Betty's mother died of cancer. That's like the season 1 shadow. Is that a month before season 1, her mother died of cancer. Obviously, season 4, she has the, I think it's thyroid, to be crude, the fat cancer. I got the only cancer that makes me fat. When she gets her weight gain. And when that became not dormant.
Benign,
yes. When that's revealed to be benign, Matthew Weiner said to January Jones, he said, that's it. Betty will be dead. The cancer will come back. So the cancer was always going to come back, which is sad and horrible. We'll talk about it later. Yes, no, the forecast. What else? Joan stumbles into a relationship. Oh, Joan stumbles into a relationship whilst in Los Angeles. Lovely Richard, lovely Bruce Greenwood, which is an actor I've always liked.
A lovely dinner where it looks, well, it's had some sort of seafood pasta. It looks delicious.
Seafood.
And
I just want a nice Italian. He has the what?
The veal, and she's not too happy about that.
No, I was on about Joan. Did I say Peggy?
Oh, maybe I got mixed up. But also, yes.
But this also has the great Peggy date, where she gets all hot and lustful and happy, and they plan to go to Paris. And then no, because that's not real life. Is this also the episode where Mathis gets fired? I think it is, and he gives he goes for advice for Don, and he's like, just bring some soap in and be like, just in case I need to wash my mouth out. And he tells the story about how he made a mistake in a Lucky Strike meeting, and he grabbed Jim Garner's hand, and he was like, I can't believe you made the asshole you made. Oh my God, I can't believe how big an asshole you made yourself look. And obviously that's a great joke for Jim Garner. Not a great joke when it's Mathis. And then he obviously has the great line for Don, though. You don't have character, you're just handsome. Stop kidding yourself. Which is a great line and a great send-off for a very nice supporting character. I cut the field trip.
The field trip, which is
that is Betty goes on a field trip, which isn't.
I say there is
but it's Don coming. It's Don coming.
That's my number 10. That's my number 10. So
okay, well, we'll put a pin in that for a moment. And then I also cut a day's work.
Okay, me too. Me too.
Again, nowhere near a cut for me. Great episode for Don and Sally. Sally finds out that Don has been fired or at least suspended, and they share some lovely moments, and then we end with Happy Valentine's Day, I love you, and the zombies play. Lovely moment.
My final cut was the strategy.
Wow. No, not a cut for me. Not a cut for me. And that's that. Okay, so let's talk about your number 10, which was a day's work. No, your number 10 was field trip. Yes, am I right? Yeah, your number 10 is field trip. Also known as Don Comes Home. Just a great episode filled with awkward tension and great comedic timing from everybody involved, and just so horribly awkward. With one of the better endings of the show, which we'll get to momentarily. But it starts with a fight with Megan, and Don thinks he's going to do a good thing by telling it, no, I was fired. And then she's like, were you drunk? And he goes, no, I've been quite well. And you're like, okay, great, Don's telling the truth. And then Megan puts two and two together. So you're telling me with a clear head, you chose every day to not come out in here and stay with me. And for me, that is the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm stupidly hopeful. I'm the guy who didn't see a breakup coming up on him by a long stretch. But I do think if Ted never went to California, and if Don went to California, maybe it's not for the rest of their lives, but I do think Don and Megan would work.
Yeah.
I do think so. Yes, I do think if Don ended up in California, because we know that Don's happy in California. Where the hell does he go in the final episode when he's on his little American journey? I want to go to the heart of America. And he finds himself in California. He finds himself with Stephanie. We've said that since season 2. our the two top episodes we did for season 2, which we will now take forward to our top 10 of all time at the end of this episode, are the Jet Set and the Mountain King, just because it's so good and wonderful to see Don happy in California when he clearly is. And we talked about this ourselves. There is something so tremendously warm and lovely about the sea and feeling at one with something that you cannot control, which obviously is part of Don's overall relationship with the world as well. Culminating in, the rules that they've set out for him. What was your, so Will, did you feel a bit blue balled having Don not in the office, or how was you, what were you feeling at the start of season 7A?
I think it's because it did go on for so long that it felt strange.
Only 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But it feels, I get it. Sorry.
Yeah. But that's at 1 hour, whatever.
2 hours.
It's 2 hours. Yeah, I think, to be honest, you almost know that his time in the office will be coming to an end. At least for this series. So it felt natural enough.
And obviously there's the great bit of Freddie talks about it being Cyrano de Bergerac, of him giving pictures to Freddie and rehearsing them, and he's passing all these great ideas through Freddie, just because. And I think that's the moment where we realize that for Don, I mean, we've seen it multiple times before, but it really is about the ads, and it really is about the creativity, and it really is about selling something for Don. Don really, and it also is a matter of Don needs work. Don needs something in his life. He can't just sit around and watch Megan's soap all day. That's not his vibe. Pardon me. That's not. Don will self-implode. And there's the great Jim Cutler and Lou Avery when they're talking about Commander cigarettes, and they go, well, Don's going to implode, and Jim with his nefarious. Yes, that is a possibility, isn't it? And they're just trying to set him up, but he's got him. Don's going to get him, and you know who's got their back? You know who's got his back?
It's Pete.
Pete and Roger. I was going to say Roger.
Oh yeah. Oh, what a man.
And I think Roger's great. Yeah, Roger's great in this season.
I mean, even when Roger rang him up and was like, you can come back. We're like, I'm not too sure if he means it or not. But then when it progressed with the whole that letter where he broke the rules and he really stuck for him, I was like, yeah. Roger.
There's a lovely, lovely little moment where he's come into the office, and he goes, "Is he in?" And he goes, and his new secretary Meredith goes, "Yes." Do you want me to page him? No, I just wanted to know. And it's just like, yeah, I'm checking up. I can drink, or at least I have a job where my drinking till great excess doesn't matter. And Roger can handle it, obviously, in so many words. And he's got his back, and everybody's got his back. And I think that is also one of the happier parts of 7A is getting Don and Peggy back together, and the beautiful culmination of that in the strategy with them waltzing to My Way, leading into Waterloo with him giving her the pitch because he knows that she can do it. It's really touching, wonderful stuff, but we will get to those moments later. At my number 10, I had Time Zones, which is the first episode of this 14. Where's that for you, Will?
That's very, very high up for me. I enjoyed Time Zones a lot.
I enjoyed Time Zones a lot as well. So we'll talk about that later. What's your number 9 then?
My number 9 is Time and Life.
Time and Life. Yeah, no, that's very high. That's very high for me. That's yeah. So we won't talk about that. My number 9 was Severance.
Which I have at number 8.
Okay, we'll talk about
Yeah,
Severance now, yeah. So this opens 7B. Immediately a different vibe, a lot more death focused. I mean, obviously season 7A ends with a big death, but it feels quite happy. It feels quite bouncy.
Yeah.
And it's not like a sad, but this is just filled with dread and death.
Yeah.
We open and close with Peggy Lee's incredible "Is That All There Is?" One of the most pessimistic, dour, beautiful songs ever written. Just accepting, what's the final line? It's and I thought I would die, but I didn't, because I'm not ready for that final disappointment yet, because I know all I'll say is that all there is? Is that all there is to life? Love's no great thing, fear's no great thing, and death and life will be no great thing. And we open actually with Andy McDowell's daughter in a incredibly sexy sequence with a fur coat. I want to get her real name. Rainey Qualley. Obviously also sisters with Margaret Qualley, who was Pussycat. Charlie's going to dig you. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And doing speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this is 1969.
Well, yeah, I mean, we get Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yeah, I mean, we get the whole hippie complex. Yeah.
We get the Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
We get the Charles Manson references with, obviously, what is it?
He's on about hitchhiking. So, oh no, ever since Charlie's ruined. Yeah, good luck.
And no, it's Meredith to Harry, and she's like, "Do you not get scared out there with the Manson brothers hanging about?" And then there's the Manson family. This is very funny. The Manson brothers, like a Partridge Family band. But yes, this very sexy sequence, and Don is fully in control again, and we sort of get that vibe. Sort of the opening of Severance gives us peak Don Draper, and we're like, oh wow, this is going to be the final 7 episodes. We're going to have peak Don Draper, and we're going to end, and it's going to be great. But then the introduction of Diana, Roger leaving just a big tip, just as a nice thing to do, and then Don having sex with her, and she's so willing because she thinks that's what the money was for, and the prostitution, I think you got $100 worth. It's so dark and affecting. And then also the Peggy Lee song, culminating with the Rachel Menken of it all. He has this dream, you're going to miss your flight, and and he finds out that Rachel Menken's dead. What was your reaction, Will, when we got Dear Rachel back? All the way to season 1.
Very, very sad.
And then there's I think he's talking with Ted about it, and no, he's talking with Diana, and she tells him, no. Are you sure that the dream was before? Because grief, you know, can mess you up. And it's one of those things of, I had a dream, and then the morning after she died, when perhaps in real life he's been dreaming about her for years, because we don't remember our dreams, or at least we don't remember all of them. Very, very affecting. And then obviously that will pay off in Lost Horizon when he looks out onto the Manhattan skyline, sees the Empire State Building and sees a plane, and he's like, Jesus Christ, get me out of here. And he goes on his little journey. Beautiful stuff. Severance. And also big Ken energy. I know you've never been a big Ken fan, but you've got to appreciate, surely, Ken getting fired and then coming back as a client for Dow, because he's been hired for Dow.
Yeah. I think giving him the eye patch was the greatest decision ever. That it makes him a better man.
Another great Pete quote: "You should be a writer. You should write adventure books. Do you know how great you're going to look on a book jacket?" Brought on, spurred on by the Ray Wise retirement. Ray Wise, wonderful actor, great in this, obviously great in Twin Peaks, and great in Fargo season 3. So literally, Ray Wise is in 3 of my top 10 shows ever. We love Ray Wise. And also Peggy and Joan being introduced to the sexism at McCann.
Yes. A very uncomfortable scene.
Which will obviously then pay off again in Lost Horizon with Joan, with the sort of Jim Hobart's second in command man, who she comes to in confidence, and then even he reveals, I'm gonna have my way with you because I'm the second in command. I can do whatever I want. And then she comes to Jim Hobart and she does just a great knockout scene of stripping him down. But we will get to that when we get to that. That's Severance. Number 8, I had The Monolith.
Where do I have that? I have that. Number 7.
Almost. So we're sort of one behind. Yeah, because I have Time and Life. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, if you just had Time and Life, we'd have synced up so many times. The Monolith, yes. I always get this confused in my head because I always think, oh, this is the one where Ginsberg chops off his nipple, because obviously the Monolith is the 2001 reference, and then in the Ginsberg cutting off the nipple episode, he does the 2001 thing of looking at them reading their lips. But it's not this. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The computer is being moved in. And Don is not happy at all with being Peggy's subordinate, and he gets pissed, and Freddie comes and helps him, and we have a great final scene with Freddie. You know, you never have to take another drink again if you don't want. Here's a fun fact for you, Will, that I only just found out the other day, and I don't know how I didn't notice it, because he's called Joel Murray and he sounds exactly the same way in so many ways. That's one of Bill's 10 brothers.
What, 10 brothers?
I don't know if it's 10, but he's like comes from a huge family of brothers. Yeah. So that's one of the Murray clan. And then also in this episode we have Roger going to find his Margaret again. Yes, from Down Hollywood of it all, and the final image of Roger falling into the mud and walking away.
The suit. That was what got me the most. Such a. I bet that suit costs a lot, and it's covered in mud.
Well, I love the thing of, okay, I'm gonna be a bit modern. I'm gonna see what this is all about. I'm gonna try and be a good father. And then he's like, wait a minute, why? I'm not gonna listen to my daughter getting railed in a barn at midnight. You need to come, and this isn't the life of my daughter. You're coming home with me, and that's the last time we see Margaret. And then, and obviously in the final episode, Roger comes and tells that he's going to give half of his fortune to little Kevin, and he says that Margaret's gone AWOL, so you can't find Margaret. Great Roger episode, great Margaret episode. Obviously we have I think it's time zones, isn't it, where they have the
I forgive you.
Yeah, I forgive you. And you're like, okay, that's quite nice. She's clearly doing some 60s therapy or something. Yeah. You don't think it's going to be this. And but obviously that is part of this world now in 69. We start in 69 this year, and then we end in Halloween 1970. But also here the introduction of the computer, and Don and everybody's genuine fear of this thing. That you really cannot get into your head, really, from a modern perspective. And then also Waterloo will have the moon landing. And I think, I can't remember where I read it. It might be a bullshit fact. But I believe now that there is more technology in our phones, more advanced technology in our phones than what was used to get us to the moon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I completely believe that. I mean, if you've seen Apollo 13, having to get this into this.
Yeah. It's mad. Pretty mad, really.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you can... Also, First Man. I loved First Man. I don't really know why that came and went.
That disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah. I thought... I watched it. I thought...
Best actor. Yeah.
Should have got Best Actor, but I said, you know what? I lied to myself, because I said immediately, I think Gosling should win Best Actor, but he's not even going to get nominated because it's too subtle. And somebody like, I don't know, somebody's going to put some teeth in and do a silly voice and pretend to sing, and they're going to get nominated. And that's exactly what happened. Didn't even get nominated. And it's, yeah, insane. I think Claire Foy got Best Supporting Actress, which also is mad because she's the best lead. Anyway, love First Man. Definitely Damien Chazelle's best film. Incredible masterpiece. I think it's building, but I feel in 5 years or whatever, there's going to be a First Man hive or some kind of let's bring First Man back. But second man, let's make a sequel. But one can only hope. And Don drinking again. It's rough, yeah. What did you like about the Bad Life, Will?
I don't know. Yeah, I think that ending is the probably the best part. Is this our introduction to Burger Chef?
Yes, because Don has to do the 25 tags.
Yeah.
And he's like, nope. I
And he's doing
love him doing the solitaire.
Yeah.
Big BDE should stand for Big Don Energy. And it's doing solitaire. Or just Big Dick Energy, as we know.
Yeah, because he's called Dick.
Yes, that's what I was referring to. That takes us to... Oh, no, sorry. My number 7 is The Runaways, which is the cutting off of the nipple episode. Did that take you by surprise, Paul?
I adored that. And I think it was a perfect goodbye to Ginsburg.
So that obviously does take you by quite a surprise. Yeah. On a rewatch, I've really experienced this time. From season 4, Ginsburg's fucking weird. Ginsburg, I think there are some, I get fucking weird, I guess is a bit of a crude way to look at it.
That's what they would have said back then.
Yeah. But there is a sort of underpinning, okay, yeah, that's not a way you react to something. And yeah, obviously it culminates. The computer heightens it all. They're homos. And when he comes to Peggy in genuine confidence, and Peggy just thinks, oh, classic Ginsburg, he's just being funny. Nope. Nope. Not what's happening there. Speaking of Big Don Energy, coming into the Commander Cigarettes meeting, uninvited, and interrupting Jim and Lou, that is peak Don. We very much enjoy that. And also peak Don, Megan, trying to make a go at things. Let's have a threesome.
Yeah.
Did the threesome take you by surprise?
It did. And I think it was especially as it was because Don wasn't really into it at first.
At first, yeah, I think, yeah. At first, I think
sort of like any other day, Don would have been. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it's the thing that it's like. I think it's the exact thing that the ginger woman reacts to, which is, hello, goodbye. Because at the end of the day, I've so many never have I ever's. People always say, "Have you ever had a threesome?" Not to me, just in general.
I don't think I've ever done a never have it. It's usually just, oh, have you ever had sex in a car?
I fucking hate never have ever. So boring.
I think it's fun.
I guess it's fun.
When you're with new people.
Yeah,
I guess. The same people every week.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm a bit of a Don that way. I don't like kiss and tell. I have no interest in it. I will tell a funny sex story, or I will tell you, my most intimate best friend, a story. But also, no, I do not need to tell you, Will, how I got off. I've never been one of those people. And I think it's that, bringing it back to Dawn, I think it's that thing of, if you're going to have a threesome, it's got to be with two people you are never going to meet again. Because... Say it again?
I was making a Peep Show joke and realised you wouldn't have got it.
No. Because how do you have coffee with your wife the morning after when it's like, no, there was that moment where you were a bit more focused on her.
Yeah.
Or like, do they have a no kissing rule? I just don't. I do not understand how you could have a threesome in a relationship. Oh no, obviously there are plenty of polyamorous things going on, but I think in the sort of heteronormative, we're going to try a threesome out, let's bring somebody in. If it's just experimentation, well, let's hear that dog barking. Is it your dog? Is that why you're muted?
No.
You're just going to mute and see how long deep dark hole they go on threesomes. No, they have a threesome, and it works pretty fine. It seemingly does work pretty fine for Don and Megan.
I do think that threesome was the beginning of the end, because I thought she's coming in to prove a point. You can't have this, and you never will, because it's that sort of. They're both drunk, and they're like, "Oh, let's all take pity on him, make fun of him," and I think she feels very above Don at that minute. Yeah, that is my opinion.
But also, I think Don is in a position where he's like, if he says no, I don't want to have sex with your friend, that's in a weird way. That's then going to put Megan in a place of embarrassment of, I'm being so desperate, and
Also, is it a test?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Megan is just liberated, and I think the question is, has Megan ever cheated on Don? In those LA years?
Yeah.
I always thought a great idea would be the reverse of like the doorway or like the first episode, and we have a great Don and Megan episode, and everything's great with them, and then it ends with Megan being revealed to be cheating with somebody this entire time. But I don't know. Perhaps, I guess there's the winking of it with the bearded guy she dances with in this episode at this party. Whether that is a case of the minute that she is loyal, but the minute that Don's out, he is getting the call immediately. Oh, why don't you come over for a drink? You know, why don't you come over for a drink? We'll just have a half. We'll just have halves, and then he's in. Welcome to Sad Boy Tom Corner. But we move on. We continue. And what better way to move on than to move into our halfway post? Let's do some quick fire rounds because we've got a lot to do. Best Pete episode. I've gone Milk and Honey route. I've gone him getting back with Pete with Trudy.
Yeah, I've gone the same, and I didn't see it coming, and I'm very, very, very happy.
Because sorry, go on.
Oh, it's just to jump onto person to person as well. When they're getting onto that jet, you're so happy.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And because I actually liked Bonnie, I thought that him and Bonnie in season 7A, or whatever you want to call it, I thought they were a great couple. Actually, I thought that worked quite well.
Oh, when they walked into Don's office and they were just orange. That's a funny bit.
Peggy with the strategy. One of your cuts.
Yeah.
But very nice.
I've gone the strategy, and I forgot what episode it's in, but it's when she gets her carousel moment.
Yeah, Waterloo.
Yeah.
Every great ad tells a story, and here to tell that story. It's Peggy Olsen. Obviously, also the great early seed of that, where they're practicing it, and Peggy goes, "Every great ad tells a story, and here to tell that story is Don Draper." And then Don comes up and he goes, I've sat around, and he starts in on one, and then Pete goes, "Okay, thank you." And then it's very, very good moment. Because that's really it. Hershey's is a very different kind of carousel moment. And then at the start of season 6, obviously it's the Star is Born suicide walking into the beach pitch. season 5, we're dealing with Lane's suicide. I'm trying to think, when's the last time we get another carousel moment with Don? Because first couple of seasons, I think I should say this now. I think it's very intentional. But I think those first couple of seasons, it's sort of one every couple of episodes that it becomes.
It's very workplace heavy. Those first couple, it's all pretty much set in that New York office,
and it's all about setting up to break it down. I've always said this. Don, I've gone person to person. For me, those 3 phone calls break my heart every single time.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there. Betty, the forecast, big Glenn energy. We talked about it. Roger, Waterloo. I could have gone for the monolith, but I really like him in Waterloo. I think him dealing with Bert and then dealing with McCann and bringing everybody together. That's my favorite. Joan, Lost Horizon, on the back foot of the sexism, and then completely owning it with Jim. And then Megan, obviously, new business. Do you disagree with any of those?
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear which episode was dedicated to what character for a sort of a wrapping up series.
Yeah. And pick of the pops. Do 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 do. Hello, pop pickers.
Finally, you'll know which one.
I know. Actually, I don't, because I think my top 4.
Yeah, I know what the other one is.
I literally think my top 4 here. I think different. Any other season, these would be each your favorite moments. But okay, at 12, if we're going to count it, I'd like to see It's the World to Sing. 11, First Time I Saw Your Face. 10, Money Burns a Hole in Your Pocket. I look just great ending. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. Everybody walking off. They know that everybody's going to get fired. 9, On a Carousel. Obviously, seeding the carousel of it all. 8, The Only Daddy That'll Walk the Line. You think this is going to save you, don't you? Taxi. Great. 7, This Will Be Our Year. Beautiful little moment. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. 6, If 6 Was 9, Jimi Hendrix. Okay. Bow now. Bow. Great. 5, Peggy Lee. Is that all there is? Just some beautiful nihilism there. And then, right. 4, Every Day, Buddy Holly. Beautiful little song.
Yeah.
3, the very sad, what we talked about earlier. Some people have even considered it maybe as he's contemplating suicide, going out onto that balcony in the freezing cold. But You Leave Me Hanging On. Your favorite David Bowie song ever, Will?
Yeah.
Is Space Oddity.
It is.
However, I think that you're going to, I don't know. I put Space Oddity at 2.
Which leaves?
Oh, before we move on, Space Oddity, not just Space Oddity, the absolute ultimate drop. This is Ground Control. The best part of the song, and I think Matthew Weiner knows that. Leaves at number 1. There's only one choice. Don, my boy. The sun in the sky, the moon on high. They're great for you and me. Because
I wasn't sure whether I could class it as the ending song because it's sort of the ending musical number and then just a musical version of it. But yeah, no, I did put that number 1 and Space Odyssey number 2. Yeah.
Gets me every time. Don, my boy. I mean, right. And then just Don slowly getting sad, and then just Don sitting there, not miserable. Yeah, just sad on the edge of the desk. Yeah, very, very, very touching.
The best way out, the best send off.
Oh yeah. Better than Lane. Also, that's a great part of the monolith. The ghost of Lane. It doesn't even need to be it's completely unspoken. But the Met, no, it's not completely unspoken because Speak of the Devil, Bert goes, "You're in a dead." a dead man whose office you now inhabit. And maybe it's a bit on the nose, but the legacy of Lane, because obviously, well, now you know the ending as well, but there were lots of people that thought the show will end with Don killing himself, jumping out the building, and that's what the falling man is.
Oh,
People said that for years. Because I enjoyed that, actually. I used to go back and read the articles of sort of predictions for the finale, because I do enjoy that. Like, a lot of people thought that Megan was going to die. Did I say that last season?
no.
I can't remember.
How?
Because obviously season 6, 1968, is the most violent year of whatever. And then there's an early scene where she wore one of the, I think it's the same shirt that Sharon Tate wore in like one of the last photos she ever took. So everybody thought that they were foreshadowing Meghan having a death, brutal or otherwise, like at the hands of some mugging or something in this violent year for New York. But that never came off. Everybody thought that maybe Bob Benson was a spy trying to track down Dick Whitman and figure that out. Obviously, he has his own secrets. Which we get again in Waterloo, which is very nice, which we'll get to. But yes, that's that. In our culminating, I also have a ranking of best season endings ever. So we will get to that later on. Let's move on. At number 6, I have The Strategy. That was one. Oh no! Wait a minute. Season standout. Who did you have?
Glenn.
I can't say I agree. I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna bring this up later because mine is very specific, and I'm gonna bring it up later. So my number 6 is The Strategy. This is the one that you cut.
Yes.
They really not even milk. It's completely justified, but they really take their time, not giving Peggy being hateful of Don, which is completely understandable from where they left with Quality of Mercy. You are a monster. But it's good to get Don and Peggy back. And obviously, looking at it now, it's completely the reverse of the suitcase. You know, Don doesn't have anywhere to go, so he makes Peggy stay so that they're together. Here, this episode, Peggy doesn't have anywhere to go, so she makes Don stay, and they come up. Obviously, they're working under the guise of doing work, but really they're just two lost souls that need one another in this life. And yeah, they have the lovely My Way waltz. Matthew Weiner was listening to so many people talk about 1968 and just about how they couldn't get away from My Way. It was the biggest song of the year. Every single radio, every single shop, you just couldn't get away from My Way. And they have the lovely little dance to that. And it ends with the ultimate trio: Pete, Peggy, Don, sat in the Burger Chef.
Yeah, I loved that shot. That with them, and they're all friends, and they've all been there since the beginning. Yeah, and they're having a burger together.
No, it wouldn't be a sin to show your legs. The first thing Pete says to Peggy, and now they're just happy together. It's just beautiful. As I know you say 5 years or whatever. I'd recommend just watching the pilot again because it's mad. It's a little bit mad to jump immediately back to the start. It's just to see how young they look, actually, because they all look so much younger. But that happens because it wasn't just 10 years in the show; it was 10 years in real life. That's not true. It was about 10 years. I don't know. I can't remember. And then, this is the Bob Benson episode. So we get Bob Benson, who has now been in Detroit with Chevy, and they're going to lose Chevy, but they're going to get Buick. Or at least they're going to set it up, and that will obviously lead to the McKenna-Erickson merger. But for me, this is the Don and Peggy episode, and Don just having complete faith in her, and it's a beautiful moment. When did you expect that to happen, Will? Did you think? What was your thoughts around Don and Peggy this season?
I don't know. To be honest, I I expected it to come even later because she seemed very angry or anti-Don the whole time, and I thought, oh, this is just the new Peggy now, and this is how it's going to be. Because I guess it came with that her mind was always progress with a career, and Peggy's not a person who's afraid to lose people, but at the end of the day, it's Peggy and Don, so that was never going to happen.
No, and we're glad it didn't. Is this the Scouts Honor episode? Is this Lou's cartoon? Another guy, Bob Dylan. Nobody believed him. Where? What did we think of Lou? Very annoying.
Yeah, I didn't really know who he was. He was just there, and then he was like, that you're meant to be Don, but you're not.
You're not Don at all. Don, they're talking to Don. It's like, what's the strategy? Lou likes to sneak up on a strategy. He likes to start with the taglines. No, that sounds like a terrible idea. Sneak up on a strategy. Lovely stuff. But yeah, no, that lovely final moment of them all together. Will, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is A Lost Horizon.
Okie dokie. That's my number 5. So we'll talk about it now. What more could you want than Peggy and Roger roller skating and playing the organ in an empty office?
That's what did it for me. No, it was that, but it was also the lead up to that when Peggy's like, hello, is someone there? And you think the scary music is part of the episode score, but it's not. It's just Roger there playing ominous organ music.
Obviously you won't have noticed it, but in the previous episode when Peggy is dealing with the children, and obviously that brings back some of the children's stuff for her, which of course it would do when she sort of reveals to Stan about that. There's a kid playing on an organ in the background. So they do have like an organ there. So there is a reason why it's there, which is a lovely moment when you watch the show again. Watch that previous episode.
When I watch it again.
In 10 years, you have a child, you're married. Do you remember when we said that this would be our decade of weddings, and now it may be our decade of nothing because of COVID-19? Maybe it'll all end. Who knows? Ugh, COVID. Before we get to the ultimate of this episode, which is Roger and Peggy, let's talk about Don going AWOL. He sees that plane on the horizon. He's like, all right, I'll just drive. And is just going to drive. We have Bert's ghost, or rather his sleep-dazed hallucination. Which I thought was very well done. Not overbearing, not too much, just about right. And then he's driving. He tries to find Diana, gives up on that, and we end with Space Oddity. Meanwhile, Joan is dealing with sexism, and that's so the only way she's going to get around that is to start her own agency, which she eventually shall do. However, the best part is Roger and Peggy. It's one of those things of they have their moments and they have scenes, but there's never been a major Roger and Peggy episode. And of course, why would there be?
Yeah.
But of course, they find themselves here. That incredible final image of Peggy walking down the hallway with the octopus pleasuring the fisherman picture that's always been in Bert's office that Lane said, incredible. I'd like to meet the man who dreamt that up. Oh, Lane.
Oh, Lane.
Who directed Time and Life.
Did he?
He did, yes.
Sorry for cutting that.
Yes, Jared, the wonderful Jared Harris. Roger and would you drink vermouth? I'm afraid I should. I'm afraid I would. The roller skating, do another lap. Very ominous and very sad in many ways. Seeing the empty office, I don't much care for it. It was bad enough leaving at the end of season 3.
Yeah.
But there is, of course, the promise of SCDP, still in Cooper Draper Price. SCMP, still in Cooper Draper Price. Very sad. And the ultimate payoff of that. And meanwhile, in all of this, Ted's in Los Angeles, going slowly mad and getting miserable, and he turns the plane off. Pete gets very angry at that, and it's that thing of in reality, maybe you wouldn't be happy moving to California, and as much as I said that Don and Megan would work, maybe they wouldn't work. Then that's that. But that's my 5. That's Lost Horizon. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is one that you had lowered at. It's Time Zones.
Ah, Time Zones. Now the question is, oh no, we won't sync up because you've got Time and Life. So what is? Oh, it's that one. Great episode. Wait, if I got this right, what was your number 10? Field Trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So A Day's Work is in your top 4.
No, I cut it. I think what you jumped the gun with the Runaways, and I forgot to mention that that's higher up for me.
Right. Okay, let's place the Runaways now. Then where's the Runaways for you?
It is at my number 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, enjoyed it a lot. I just like Ginsberg going mad.
Yes, it is great. Ginsberg going mad is very fun. Now it's been released. The valve, I cut off the valve, and and then the little mention of him in the next episode. Have you gone to see him? Yeah, he's fine. Not really. Okay. Your number 5 was Time Zones. Number 10, great season opener. Nev Campbell. We get Nev Campbell. Are you a Scream fan, Will?
Yes, sure. I've only seen the first one.
That's the best one. I really like Scream 2. Scream is undoubtedly the best one, but Scream 2 is very, very good. I've always liked Scream 2. Time Zones. Again, sort of immediately dropping us into a world that we're not certain about what's happening. I think we don't get Don for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but then you do get him, and he's on the with the tiles. That's cool.
I'm a Man, Spencer Davis Group. And then also in a really scary bit of foreshadowing, obviously that is directly homaging The Graduate. And then season 7B opens in memory of Mike Nichols, who passed, and obviously one of my deep idols, and very clear from the show itself, one of Matthew Weiner's idols as well.
I just realised I believe someone is watching Rocket Man very, very loudly outside my door.
I can't hear it. What's happening? What's happening currently?
He's just singing something. We've already had Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, so they're near the end.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm still standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. They're just finishing.
Oh, yeah. I'll say that. I'm trying not to listen to it because I'm watching it tonight.
Bruno Taglioni. Play everybody's favorite game. Spot Bruno Taglioni.
It's great.
You are so sexy and the fire. We love Bruno. Will, do an impression of Bruno talking about time zones.
No.
Okay. I love the scene where Pete is really nice to Don and they meet in a diner. That's
Mexican.
It's a little bit cabron. It's a little bit what's the Mexican guy in Mexican Joe in Hateful Eight? Cabron. I love cabron. Time zones. Time zone. Time zones. Dropping us in, and we see this incredibly sexy slow motion Megan, and it's a bit Don's fantasy. And then the fantasy snaps. Get in the car. I've got a meeting to go to, and we're like, okay, yeah, no, this isn't going well for Don. This is not ideal. And we go from there. Don is giving all of his pictures to Freddie, who is then giving them to Peggy. And we end on that it's a pretty joyous, bouncy episode. And then we end with that horrible "You Keep Me Hanging On" with the cold balcony. It's not good. Oh yes, pardon me. What are we? What am I missing here? I'm missing something here. Let's talk about Nev Campbell on the plane. Again, Don trying to be a good boy. No, actually, what do you think it is? Do you think it's Don trying to be a good boy, or do you think it's him coming to the realization that meaningless sex isn't going to make him happy?
I think it's fair to say it's both.
Yeah. But then he does. She says, "I can make you happy," and he goes, "I bet you could." So I think, yeah, but I do think he's getting quite tired of it. And yeah, again, I think he always comes back to, I want to be in a monogamous relationship that works. I do think he wants that. And I think he would, if Betty and Megan fulfilled him so completely, if Megan stayed as childlike and naive as season 4, I think he'd stay with her forever. But, people grow, and you become and you fall in love with one another, and that reveals so many things beyond that. And we get that in Time Zones. But what put it so high for you?
I just thought it was a really good series opener.
Oh yeah.
I love that introduction to every character. I thought that shot we'd done on the horizontal escalator was very, very cool. Yeah, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Great, it's a great show. At number 4, I have the Milk and Honey route.
At number 4, Tom, I have the Milk and Honey route.
Oh, it's our first lock. Now the question is, ooh. There is the possibility of one more lock.
Yeah, it's. I'm not too sure.
I don't think we're
gonna lock.
I don't think we're gonna lock either. I think you've gone for I think. We'll get there. Milk and Honey route, beautiful. I sort of say it's the first part of the finale. Let's go piece by piece. Let's start with the most depressing, which is Betty coming with her cancer. The great Mrs. Robinson. The boys who... I'm Mrs. Francis. The boys who left you said that you were called Mrs. Robinson. I think that was a joke. Just giving Betty just a little bit of a kick before, obviously, she gets the horrible, terrible news. Henry just going into full political mode. What if Henry Rockefeller got this? He wouldn't die. There would be so many different things that could be done. And he stays like that, and he stays like that, and he stays like that until he comes to Sally.
He breaks down with Sally. Yeah.
It's okay to cry. You can cry. And he's talking to himself, and he breaks. And then Sally's the one holding him, which obviously pays off how we will leave Sally, who I do feel will be a modern woman, as we sort of are led to believe. But the final images are of her cleaning and of her caring for the children. So I think she's going to be a bit of a combination. I think she's going to be a bit of a Joan. I think she is going to be a modern woman, but I also think she's going to have a family. And again, as we talked about with Peggy, the two aren't mutually exclusive. There are plenty of independent working women who have great marriages and great families, and there are plenty of married women, vice versa, and all that. So we start there with poor Betty. Poor Betty. The lovely letter she gives Sally. I know, again, her vanity. Make sure that you give me the lipstick from my bag. This is the blue chiffon dress I want to wear. I want immediately you to put me in the plot. And then you think it's just going to be that. And then, Sally, I was always worried about you, but because you beat your own drum. But now I know that that's a good thing, and your life will be an adventure. And then Sally just crumbles herself. I've said this from season 1. It's immeasurable how lucky they were with Kina Shipka that she grew it into such an incredible actress.
Excellent. Yeah.
And we saw it as she's a great child actor in season 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, season 3 with Grandpa Gene dying. Why are you all laughing? You're all laughing, and somebody has died. And she's great there, but obviously the promise of that continues and continues, and she's just darn excellent. I've not watched Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, but I hope she gets some great work, some more great work. And where are we? Yeah, Milk and Honey Route. Also in here, we've talked about Pete and Trudy getting back together. I think we've talked about it enough. Yes. But for me, Milk and Honey Route is Don at this motel, and Don with his
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, when the wind comes creeping down the hill. And I just think it's sensational. I've always loved this episode, and loved this Don plot. The kid, who he obviously sees himself in, you know, you need to know how to hustle, and the payoff, he manages to finally say to somebody, "I killed my commanding officer." Mm-hmm. Presumably, this is also the first time that this has ever been said, because I do not think there's a chance. I think he told Anna that there was a big shoot up or something, and he took the tags. I don't think he told Anna the complete truth. And that I want to name this actor because I think he's so great. The old man who eventually in the beating scene beats him with the
chair. Is it a chair?
No, it's what do you call it? It's the phone book.
Oh yeah,
He beats him with the phone book. I think I've. Oh, get me a pic.
And Roy from The Office.
Chris O'Dowd?
US. No, US.
He's Roy from The Office?
No, the guy sat to Don's right on the bed plays Roy in the US office.
The one with the moustache?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. David Denham?
I hope I've got this right. David Denham. David.
He's in the new Kate Winslet TV series, and as a character called Frank Sheehan. Did they not watch The Irishman? Where Robert De Niro is called Frank Sheehan. Were you right, Will, about the IT Crow pilot?
No, I was on about The Office.
The Office pilot. Were you right about The Office pilot?
It's not even is a prominent character throughout all 9 series of the US Office.
Oh, I'm not. I don't like the US Office, so that's that. That's in that. I was looking for Max Gale, who plays Floyd, who is astounding, especially with his World War II story. You know, the little details, and I need a drink. Does that so terrifically well. And then Don gets the gumption to, and he starts with such a telling line: "I killed my commanding officer." And everybody looks at him. What's this story going to be? And then we realize it's the guilt. Obviously, he didn't kill him. And then everybody's there for him. And this man a drink, this man a drink. And you finally think, wow, this is going to be so healthy for Don. This is going to be so good. And then the phone book, you know. Your car was fixed. You should have gone home. But then you've got Don's 2 biggest things in life. Dealing with his traumas and also trying to make a better life for people like him. So he's got to weigh it up, and the selflessness of Don. I would rather help this kid who I know is going to have a terrible life if I don't help him right now, rather than have a healthy experience. And that's what happens there. I love Milk and Honey Route. Will, anything left to say here?
Well, you've got your Trudy stuff as well.
Yeah, Pete and Trudy coming together. Good night. Sorry, good morning. When he goes, good morning. Love Vincent and Alison. Very, very good stuff here. And yeah, completely believable. And a bit like Stan and Peggy, we never knew we wanted it until we got it. And now it's all we want. And also a great return of Duck. Back now off the wagon.
Yeah.
Um,
Again.
I love that about him. I love because obviously Freddie has managed to stay off, and obviously has been sober since we saw him again in season 4. I think is when we meet him again, and he's been sober this entire time. However, that's not always the case with alcoholism, and it would really, you know, it could be so easy to just have Duck be just a drunk after he left Sterling Cooper. But no, when we meet him again in season 4, he's drunk. Then when we meet him again in season 6, and he's now a headhunter, he's drinking milk and he's drinking coffee, and he's back on the wagon, and now he's back off the wagon. And I think it's just a really realistic, and it also just exemplifies the journey that's gone on in this show through the years, the milk and honey route. Now I have Time and Life at 3, which you have at 9.
Wow. Yeah.
So no. Our favorite episode, I think it was our favorite of season 3, was Shut the Door and Have a Seat. And it's like, yeah, come on, let's all rally together. Let's make our own little company. Come on, let's rally together. We're all going to make our own little company. And then Time and Life, you're like, they're going to do that again. And you're like, yes. It's Shut the Door and Have a Seat part 2. And that's how we're going to end. We're going to end with Sterling Cooper West. Everybody's in California. No. Stop the presentation. And Jim Hobart just brings them down to earth and goes, no, we're not doing this. You're here now. And then the seed of Coca-Cola. And it's, no, this is the situation. And then obviously Lost Horizon. We move on. Jared Harris, as I say, directed this episode. Did a very, very good job. And but also in this episode is our final Don Roger moment. You're going to be okay. And the big kiss and the joke I've talked about. It's not even a joke really. When he says, "You gave me such grief for marrying my secretary, and then you did the exact same thing." Which is very true and just typically Don and Roger. I just love this episode, and for me it's mainly just that kicker of the Jim Hobart. No, that's not happening. We're doing this normally. You can't run away from this anymore. We would rather take the losses than have another Sterling Cooper. Your mechanics, and now we've got you. This was always the plan. This is life now. Time and Life.
It's sad as well because there's such excitement and optimism whenever Roger has this great idea, and you think, oh, it's going to be fine. No, it's not. But was it the right decision in the end?
What, to try and make Sterling Cooper West?
Yeah.
I think it would give them the anonymity that I think they want most. For me, it's not just the plane that turns Don away, it's the fact that he's one of 20 men. That's not ideal. That's not what he wants. He doesn't want this big 20-men thing working on Miller Lite. I think he wants his own private team. He'd be very happy to just work with him and Peggy on smaller clients out there in California. I do think Megan, the worst part about his California addiction is now that Megan soiled it.
Yeah.
Now his getaway isn't California, that's Meganville. Which it obviously always has been since the end of season 4. I think on a rewatch, I might just stop at the end of season 4 because that's such a beautiful, happy ending. And I mean, this gives us a happy ending, but also I love the end. I love Tomorrowland, and I love Happy Don, and I love Happy Don and Megan. It really got me this year, actually, of just like, oh, that's really happy. But it didn't cross my mind once of, I know where this is ending. I was just so fully in with Tomorrowland. Well, we'll see what happens next year. That's my number 3. That was your number 9. Dum bum 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 bum. Number 2. is 5,
Person to person.
4. Oh, okay. I was going to count down. No, Waterloo, person to person. We'll talk about Waterloo as this is our first finale. So you have Waterloo, then person to person.
Yeah.
No, sorry, you have person to person, then Waterloo.
Yeah.
Waterloo. Why didn't they play Waterloo?
Waterloo Sunset. That's the better Waterloo.
Waterloo Sunset is a great song. I mean, they're all great songs.
Yeah.
But they're not. The sun in the sky, the moon on high, they're great for you and me because they're free. No, I'm not going to switch it. I'm sticking with. No,
I think you are going to switch it.
No, I do not think I will.
What's better, the moon or
Will's frozen. Waterloo is a great
What?
episode. Oh, he's back. Or is he back? Where is he back?
Oh.
Your picture's frozen. Oh no, you're back now. You're back now. Waterloo. Let's start there. So this is the finale for season 7A. He's frozen. Oh no, he's not. Will's back. Season 7A ends with Waterloo. We open with Apollo 11 taking off,
yes,
and Apollo 11 landing. And again, that thing of everybody coming together and then culminating in Bert's death.
Which
Very
I
sad.
knew exactly what it was as soon as Roger picks up the phone. And you know exactly what that person on the other side is saying.
So of your predictions, Will, you said that Megan and Don's relationship would fail, yes, and Bert would die. Those were your two predictions.
Did I say Bert would die?
You did say Bert would die.
Oh, well, I'm good.
You are good. But yeah, for as much as we know what it is, very well done with the taking out of his name.
Yeah.
Just touching and
yeah,
very well done. And then that call with Roger and Don.
Yeah.
Bert's passed on, and it doesn't really hit Don until it, of course, does at the end with that beautiful.
Listen to the rain on the moon.
Yeah. Well, what do we prefer? Citizen Kane, Paddington 2.
I love that meme.
Does Citizen Kane end? Oh, Citizen Kane ends with Rosebud. Fuck off.
Have you seen the? Because now Paddington 2 is officially the highest on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
Have you seen the meme where we need to stop saying that was that director's Citizen Kane? That was that director's
Paddington
2.
Now people are going to start saying it's the Paddington 2 of superhero movies, which is funnier to say, I guess. No, Paddington 2 is great.
What is the Paddington 2 of superhero movies?
As in the funner sequel that maximizes the potential.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, or Dark Knight. Yeah. I'd be fine with people saying like, well, no, people say Empire Strikes Back, don't they? When it's like a darker sequel that ends with the possibility of a third film that's going to be happier. Unlike Waterloo, which ends happy, sad. Happy, sad.
I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling... Adams, we're in that. We're in the Adams Family.
Oh yeah, we were in the
We
Adams
both
Family.
auditioned to sing that song, and neither did.
No, I played your father again. Real this time. You have a dog? I thought you were at college.
Oh no, I am at home just for the day. I've come to do
right.
annual labour.
Meanwhile, the burger chef of it all and the Peggy of it all, which is all great. And as you say, she gets her carousel moment, and boy, does she pull it off.
Did you like how I referred to it as the carousel moment? Because that was like, and I know about Mad Men, Tom.
You know about Mad Men?
Yeah,
it's wonderful. Have you started? So now you can watch all the videos, can't you? Of like Dawn Explained and
oh yeah. I like those sort of videos or series.
There's a very good series of videos which I will send you. I think it's Screen. I can't remember, but they're very good. Meanwhile, the great vote and the middle, Don getting the sheet and running into Roger, get everybody out there. Incredible scene.
Amazing.
Let's go vote by vote. Pete, of course. Roger, of course. Bert, we don't know. I
think Bert is impartial, but I've always seen him as a father figure to Don.
Yeah. And also the fact, more so for Bert, it's the fact that it wasn't gone to the partners. It was done completely out of whack, which is not the way you do things. But Jim, obviously, Joan.
It all stems back to that episode.
For immediate release, which you wanted to cut or something, I can't remember. No, you thought the flood was better. I can't remember. For immediate release, yeah. Don't you feel £500 lighter? Don. Season 6, he's horrible to Joan. He's horrible to Peggy. He's horrible to Megan. Bad vibe. Season 6 for Don Draper. Which, yeah, Waterloo. Why is it your number one, Will?
The ending.
Of course.
I think that scene we just mentioned, where he's storming around. Oh my God, this dog! Storming around the office is the energy, isn't it?
Lots of dogs, and also the other element of that, which is the great scene where Roger brings forward the deal. No, Don's imperative to the deal. They want Don. They want Ted.
It is my favourite death episode. I think it's the best send-off they've given, and I think it was nicely picked up that there was all that sort of space, symbolism throughout Bert's history, like when he described her that died as an astronaut.
Ida Blankenship.
Yeah,
she was born in a barn and she died in a skyscraper. She's an astronaut. Beautiful stuff. Waterloo. My number one is Person to Person. For me, this is it. I mean, let's go. Let's sort of look at it a bit more intimately now, a bit more, break it down. Like we talked about the ending in broad strokes, but yeah, Don finds some kind of peace, and whether that lasts, we don't know. But for me, mainly this is the episode of the 3 phone calls. First, I think earlier in the season, Ted has the line, there are 3 women in every man's life, and these are Don's 3 women. Sally, and Sally's very terms of endearment. Like, I never thought I was going to be the type of man to give up his own kids, but Sally gives him the advice: no, they should stay with Henry, not you. Very, very terms of endearment. Then Betty. Horrible call. Beautiful. Birdie, when he calls her Birdie, breaks my heart.
Oh. I was just coming out of the shower this morning when he said that, and it was very sad.
And then Peggy, with what did you ever do that was so bad? I broke all my vows, I scandalized my children, I took a man's name and made nothing of it. And Peggy is literally trying to talk him down off the ledge, and it's haunting, it's beautiful, it's tragic, it's sensational. Will, I didn't tell you my season standout earlier because my season standout only appears in one scene.
The Naturist.
No, it's not him. He's great. But for me, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the finest performances the show ever had is Evan Arnold as Leonard. The final sort of monologue that breaks dawn, the refrigerator speech. I feel like people are opening a refrigerator and the light comes on and they just ignore me. And glimpse into Sad Tom life. That's a big scene on rotation when I want to cry. Just not that one on. Not the end of Terms of Endearment. The end of the Apartment.
On a side note, I was watching Alan Carr's game show last night, and he was doing Lucky Strike. No, Strike It Lucky. That Lucky Strike is the cigarettes on Mad Men. Yeah. And one of the questions was Selfridges was called Selfridges because originally it only sold refrigerators.
Is that true?
No, but they thought it was.
Oh, wow.
No, it's because it was Mr. Selfridge.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the girl in high school that I was very annoyed with, kept asking me questions? And she was like, what's the word for like really difficult? And I said, well, no, sorry, what's the word about like to experience something really difficult? And I said, well, you can conjubilate something. Just made it up because I could not be bothered. And then she put it in her essay. Yeah. I also made somebody believe that Thatcher was called the Iron Lady because she made her money because her dad was the man that invented the iron. There are some foolish people that one can have some fun with in this life, and that's me at my most narcissistic. No, absolutely, so brilliant and touching monologue, Leonard. And then we have those final moments with everybody. We have Pete and Trudy flying away. We have Joan running the place out of her office, now bringing in the babysitter to help her out. We have Roger and Marie in Canada. We have Betty having a cigarette. Why not? And we have and then Peggy and Stan. The kiss on the head. And we end Mad Men. You're not happy it's ended. You could do another season, couldn't you?
I think that it's more so there's now a hole in my life.
Yeah.
That could be filled with something else. Well, with Inside Number 9.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
That's what I'll fill it up with.
I don't know. I'm looking at the schedule now. So this comes out obviously in the new year. Oh, Will, haven't you got something to tell me?
Oh, sorry, I have got something to tell you, Tom. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. I am 22. Wow, that is weird. I'm not actually 22. I'm 21. But me in the future. Wow, I'm 22. Depending on when Mad Men Season 6 finishes. No, they'll have already seen our bonus Mad Men Season 6 episode.
Have we got a bonus episode?
Well, I presume we'll want to.
Oh, Matt. Oh, Inside Number 9.
Yeah, when. Yeah, I presume you'll want to.
No,
there's nothing else. There's nothing else. No, they will have already watched us talk about Season 6, which we have no doubt is filled with more glorious episodes.
I think it will be far better than Season 5.
Season 5 had multiple experiments, which were great for Psychoville fans. Not great necessarily as a. I think we talked about this. I would love, like the anniversary League of Gentlemen, I would love 3 bonus Psychoville episodes instead of 9. Sorry, I mean, but also it was a great twist. It was a great, as a Psychoville fan, it was a great reveal. Even for you, Will, who haven't actually seen Psychoville beyond clips, it was a great reveal and it was great fun. It was not fun for my ex, who was a huge Jenna Coleman fan. I was like, why is Jenna just listening to this woman tell a story?
She's a Jenna Coleman fan. I mean, there's your answer.
Yeah. No, you're right. I would gladly, I'm glad she left me because she liked Jenna Coleman. I'm so much happier with this miserable life. Mad Men. We are now going to take. Oh no, we need to. 1 minute. We need to rank this. We need to rank this season first.
All right, so we got Waterloo number 1.
Whoa, let's slow down here a minute. Right. Wait, it's got to be person to person.
Why?
Because it's great.
I think Waterloo is so much more. I mean, regarding it's pretty much a funeral episode as well. It's action packed to its full, and it keeps you going. Whereas great send off, great finale, great wrap up, but it is very much just a story of Don's there, everyone else is there, and it's quite coming to a slow end, and then that great nice final.
I'll give you Waterloo. I don't believe it, but I can't do this conversation. Waterloo. Well, anyway, we don't know how it's going to all land.
It's also lower on IMDb, so.
Oh, very good. You had that in your back pocket, didn't you? So there's no way in hell I'm having Time and Life locked in at 3 now. Jesus Christ. Followed by the Runaways at 5. Lost Horizon at 6. Time Zones at 7. Strategy at 8. And then we both share, Monolith, then Severance.
Yeah.
Okay. At number 10, Severance. At number 9, The Monolith. At number 8, The Strategy. Number 7, Time Zones. Number 6, Lost Horizon. Number 5, The Runaways. Number 4, The Milk and Honey Route. Number 3, Time and Life. Number 2, Person to Person. Number 1, Waterloo. Now, we're going to take a 10-minute break or so because we're going to rank our top 10 Mad Men episodes of all time. We will see you then. And we're back to discuss our top 10 Mad Men episodes of all time. So the way we do it is maybe a little bit arbitrary, but it's we've made our rules and we stick with them. And actually, I like these rules because it gives us an overview of the whole show. So that's my justification. Basically, we take the top 2 episodes from each of our rankings. So to review those, Season 1, we had Nixon versus Kennedy and Red in the Face. Season 2 was The Mountain King and Jet Set. Season 3 was Shut the Door and Have a Seat and Guy Walks into an Advertising Agency. Season 4 was The Suitcase and Beautiful Girls. Season 5 was Faraway Places and Commissions and Fees. Season 6 was The Crash and In Care Of. And Season 7, as just discussed, was Waterloo and Person to Person. Will, what did you have at number 10?
This is going to... I mean, my whole list is going to upset you, Tom. But at number 10, I have Person to Person.
I have Person to Person at 8.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
At number 10, I have Red in the Face.
I have that high up.
Yeah. At number 9, I did. At number 9, I have Waterloo.
Number 9, I have The Suitcase.
Okay. Yeah.
It will be your 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's up there. At number 8, I have Person to Person.
I have Faraway Places.
Okay. Yeah. Number 7, I have Beautiful Girls.
I have The Crash.
Number 6, I have Jet Set.
I have Shut the Door.
Yeah. Number 5, I have The Crash.
At number 5, I have Nixon v. Kennedy.
Okay. I have that at 4.
Number 4, I've got Guy Walks into an Advertising Agency.
Yeah. Number 3, I have Faraway Places.
3, I have Waterloo.
It's literally like upside down. It's number 2, I have Shut the Door and Have a Seat.
2, I have The Jet Set.
And number 1, I have The Suitcase.
I have Red in the Face.
Wow. Okay, right. See, this is the thing. How do we tackle this here?
We can just go by my list.
This is what's going to happen. You're going to give me Suitcase and Shut the Door and Have a Seat at number 1 and 2. And then I'll give you Red in the Face and the Jet Set 3-4, which is,
Why is that going to happen? Why?
Here's my offer. Nothing. Because, Will, I let you do most of the Peep Show rankings. We went off your list. This is Mad Men. This is my show. Some might say it's my personality entirely. I am nothing without Mad Men. You can give me the Suitcase and Shut the Door and Have a Seat.
Okay.
Oh, Will, thank you. Okay, so Suitcase at number 1, Shut the Door and Have a Seat at number 2, Red in the Face, the Jet Set.
Then I would like Waterloo, please.
That's a 3 bargain now. That is a 3 episode bargain. If I give you Waterloo at 5, then I want Nixon v Kennedy, then The Crash at 6, 7. No, that's a terrible deal because that's just your list anyway.
That's very much similar to me.
Fine. Waterloo at 5, Crash, Nixon. Oh, wait a minute. No. Crash down 1. Crash at 7. Nixon at 8, because we still haven't done my number 3, which is Faraway Places, at number 6. So that needs to be at number 6. So we now have 9 and 10 left, which leaves...
Guy Walks In, please.
Yeah, that's Guy Walks In, which leaves Person to Person at 10.
It's Beautiful Girls and Person to Person.
Let's go. I have Beautiful Girls higher, but you don't have Beautiful Girls. So let's have Person to Person at 10.
Which it's the finale to our list, and it's the finale to the show.
Not just yet, because I have my ranking of the best season endings, pop pickers, and then we'll go through our top 10, and then we will say goodbye to Mad Men. My least favorite ending is the end of number 8, I Got You, Babe, Don and Megan happy in bed. Pick 7 is season 2, Don and Betty pretending that having a child is going to help them in any way. Followed by season 3 at 6, The Wonderful Shadow Rover. In the future, you will find a love that lasts. Followed by Waterloo. No, switch. Followed by I'd Like to Say to the World to Sing. Followed by Waterloo. Followed by This Is Where I Grew Up. Followed by reversal of At the End of the Wheel. Followed by Excuse Me, Are You Alone? And then here are our 10 episodes of all time. At 10, Person to Person. At 9, Guy Walks Into an Advertising Agency. At 8, Nixon versus Kennedy. At 7, The Crash. Number 6, Faraway Places. Number 5, Waterloo. Number 4, The Jet Set. Number 3, Red in the Face. Number 2, Shut the Door and Have a Seat. Number 1, The Suitcase. And there you
go.
Have it. I don't think I ever will have any final thoughts on Mad Men. As I say, I think I'm going to watch it every year for the rest of my life now. Hopefully, to God, I find a woman who enjoys it as much as I do, or rather can tolerate it. That's Mad Men. I do. Here's the big question then. Do you agree with me, objectively, subjectively, whatever, that it is the greatest show ever made?
No.
Do you think it's the greatest drama ever made?
Of what I've seen, it's up there, because I've not seen it. Like, I've not done Breaking Bad.
You've not. This is. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is like your first prestige American TV show, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've only done Fargo. You've not seen Friends?
No.
Not even like in passing?
I've seen, if someone's watching it, I might have seen it for the duration of making a cup of tea.
You need to do Friends again. You need to do Friends. Friends is excellent, though. Friends is so good. Love Friends. Yeah, Friends is excellent. Well, Mad Men. Incredible. Great show ever made. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Thank you, Matthew Weiner. Thank you, John Hamm. Thank you, absolutely everybody involved. They're not watching this. Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-ba.